What if I told you that the thing you think is helping you grow is actually slowing you down? Most people spend years doing the same thing over and over, working harder, pushing more, adding more, and they never stop to ask one simple question. Am I actually growing, or am I just getting busier? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will never look at growth the same way again. Welcome back to NestPath UK. If you are new here, this is the channel where we break down the things that actually matter: growth, strategy, life decisions, and we do it in a way that is honest, clear, and built for real people. Not theory, not textbook stuff. Real, applicable insight you can use today. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, make sure you subscribe, because we put out content like this every single week. Now today's topic is growth. One word, but here's the thing. It is one of the most misunderstood concepts of our time. Everyone wants it. Everyone talks about it. But very few people actually understand what it means, how it works, and more importantly, why it stops. And that is exactly what NestPath UK is going to unpack for you today. We are going to cover 3 things. First, what growth actually is and why your current definition of it might be completely wrong. Second, the hidden forces that either accelerate growth or quietly kill it, and most people never even see them coming. And third, a practical framework you can apply to your own life, your work, your business, your finances, whatever area you are trying to move forward in. So do not skip ahead. Every section builds on the last, and the third part will not make sense unless you have the first 2. Let us get into it. Let us start with a story. Imagine a tree. You plant a seed in your garden. For the first few weeks, you see absolutely nothing. The ground looks the same. Nothing is happening, or so it seems. But underneath the soil, something extraordinary is going on. The seed is cracking open. Roots are forming. The plant is building its entire foundation before it ever shows its face above ground. Now here is the problem most people have with their own growth. They expect to see results before the roots are ready. They plant the seed on Monday, and they want the tree by Friday. And when nothing shows up, they dig the seed back up, throw it away, and start over with something else. Sound familiar? This is what I call the invisible growth phase. And it is the most dangerous phase of any journey, whether we are talking about your career, your investments, your relationships, your health, or your mindset. Because during this phase, you are working, you are putting in the effort, but the external results have not caught up yet. And if you do not understand that this phase is not just normal but necessary, you will quit right before the breakthrough. Here at NestPath UK, we talk about this a lot, because it affects almost every single person who is trying to build something meaningful. Growth is not linear. It does not look like a straight line going up. It looks more like a long, flat runway that suddenly takes off. And the people who win are not the most talented or the most gifted. They are the ones who stayed on the runway long enough to feel the lift. Now let me give you a real-world example. Think about someone learning a new language. In the first month, they are studying every day. They are memorizing words, drilling grammar, listening to podcasts. And when someone speaks to them in that language, they still freeze. Nothing seems to be working. Most people stop here. But the ones who push through, who stay in that uncomfortable, frustrating, invisible growth phase, suddenly, around month 4 or 5, something shifts. The brain connects the dots. Conversations start flowing. It feels like overnight progress, but it was never overnight. It was always building. So the first reframe I want you to take from this video is this. Growth is not the absence of struggle. Growth is what struggle is building. And the moment you accept that, everything changes. But here is where it gets really interesting. Because understanding growth is only half the puzzle. The other half, and this is the part most people miss, is understanding what quietly works against it. And when I tell you what these forces are, I think you are going to recognize at least one of them in your own life right now. Let us keep going. There is a concept in psychology called the comfort plateau. It is the point where you have grown just enough to feel stable, to feel okay, but not enough to reach where you actually want to be. And the dangerous thing about the comfort plateau is that it does not feel bad. That is the whole problem. It feels fine. It feels manageable. And fine is the enemy of great. When things feel fine, your brain stops sending you the discomfort signals that drive change. You stop pushing. You stop questioning. You start maintaining instead of growing. And weeks turn into months, and months turn into years, and one day you look up and realize you have been in the same place for a very long time. Not because you failed, but because you got comfortable. The second force that works against growth is what I want to call identity lag. This is when your actions and results have grown, but your self-image has not caught up. You have made progress, real, measurable progress, but inside, you still see yourself the same way you did 3 years ago. You still talk to yourself with the same limitations. You still make decisions based on who you used to be rather than who you are becoming. Identity lag is sneaky. It shows up when an opportunity comes your way, and your first instinct is, that is not for someone like me. It shows up when someone compliments your work, and you immediately deflect it. It shows up when you are right on the edge of a breakthrough, and instead of stepping through the door, you find a reason to step back. And here at NestPath UK, we want to be direct with you. Identity lag is not a character flaw. It is a psychological delay, and you can close that gap deliberately. The third force is what we might call environment drag. The people around you, the information you consume, the physical space you operate in, all of it either pulls you forward or pulls you back. And most of the time, we do not even choose our environment consciously. It just builds up around us over time, like sediment, and before we know it, we are operating inside a container that was designed for an older, smaller version of us. Think about the last 5 people you spoke to about your goals. Did they energize you or drain you? Did they challenge your thinking or confirm your doubts? Did they show you what is possible or remind you of every reason it will not work? Your environment is not neutral. It is either an accelerant or a brake. And one of the fastest decisions you can make to accelerate your growth is to change what and who you are surrounding yourself with, even incrementally. Now I want to be real with you. Changing your environment does not always mean cutting people off or burning things down. Sometimes it is as simple as listening to different podcasts, reading a book that challenges your current worldview, joining a community of people who are already doing what you want to do. Here at NestPath UK, we genuinely believe that your next level is usually found just beyond the edge of your current circle. Before we get to the framework, I want to ask you something. Drop it in the comments right now. Which of these 3 forces resonates most with you? The comfort plateau, identity lag, or environment drag? Be honest with yourself. The comment section is a safe space, and your answer might actually help someone else watching this video who is going through the exact same thing. All right, you now understand what growth really is, and you know the 3 forces working against it. Now let us talk about what to actually do. This is the part of the video I want you to pay close attention to, because this framework is something you can apply immediately, today, in whatever area of your life you are trying to move forward in. The framework has 3 components and they build on each other: clarity, compression, and consistency. Let me walk you through each one. Clarity first. And I do not mean having a vague idea of what you want. I mean being so specific about your destination that you could describe it to a stranger in 30 seconds, and they would completely understand it. Most people operate with fuzzy goals. They want to be more successful. They want to earn more money. They want to feel healthier. But the brain does not know how to navigate toward vague destinations. It needs coordinates. It needs a specific target. So here is a simple exercise we recommend at NestPath UK. Take whatever area you want to grow in and write down in 1 sentence exactly what success looks like 12 months from now. Not a mood, not a feeling, a measurable, specific outcome. Because the moment you get clear on where you are going, everything else, your decisions, your time, your energy, starts to organize itself around that destination. The second component is compression. Now this sounds counterintuitive, but hear me out. Growth does not come from doing more things. It comes from doing fewer things better. We live in a world that glorifies busyness. A packed calendar is seen as a status symbol. But busyness and productivity are not the same thing. In fact, busyness is often the enemy of growth, because when you are stretched across 100 different tasks, you cannot go deep enough in any one of them to create real momentum. Compression means identifying the 1, 2, maybe 3 activities that will have the biggest impact on your goal, and then protecting your time around those activities as if they are sacred. Everything else gets reduced, delegated, or removed. This is not easy. It requires saying no to things that feel good in the moment. But the people who grow the fastest are almost always the people who are the most intentional about where their energy goes. The third component is consistency. Now I know you have heard this before. Everyone says consistency is key. But I want to give you a slightly different framing that might actually make consistency feel more achievable. Consistency is not about doing things perfectly every single day. Consistency is about maintaining enough momentum that recovery from a bad day is fast. It is about showing up at a level that is sustainable over a long period of time. Not sprinting until you crash, but running at a pace you can keep for months and years. The people who grow the most sustainably are not the ones doing the most on their best days. They are the ones doing enough on their worst days. Because it is not the peaks that build results, it is the floor. Raise your floor, and your ceiling will rise with it, almost automatically. So to bring it all together, clarity gives you the destination. Compression focuses your energy on the fastest route. And consistency ensures you keep moving even when progress is slow and the results are not yet visible. These 3 working together create a compound effect that over time produces growth that feels almost impossible from the outside but makes complete sense from the inside. I want to leave you with one final thought, and it is something we genuinely believe in at NestPath UK. Growth is not a destination, it is a direction. The goal is not to arrive somewhere and stop. The goal is to become the kind of person who keeps moving, keeps learning, keeps choosing the harder but more meaningful path, even when it is uncomfortable, even when the results are not showing yet, even when the people around you do not understand what you are building. Because here is the truth. The version of you that exists 12 months from now is already possible. The capacity is already there. The question is not whether you are capable of growth. The question is whether you are willing to go through the invisible phase, the messy middle, long enough to see it emerge. And if you are watching this video, my guess is that you are exactly the kind of person who is. You are not looking for shortcuts. You are looking for understanding. And understanding, combined with action, is the most powerful growth tool that exists. So that is a wrap on today's video. If this resonated with you, if even one idea in here shifted something, do me a favor. Hit the like button. It genuinely helps more people find this content, and it lets us know we are on the right track. Drop a comment with whichever of the 3 forces you identified most with. I read every single one. And if you are new to NestPath UK and you want more content like this, honest, deep, no fluff breakdowns on growth, strategy, and building a better future, subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a video. We will see you in the next one.